Yes, hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Cluiche with me, Séamus, Brady, your host. For this one, it is just me, and at last, we are going to run through today the official Cluiche Hurling All-Star team for 2024. So, basically in this video, I'm just going to pop the team up right here on the screen. You're going to see who I have selected. I'm going to run through why I selected them, but then I'm also going to give shout-outs to the near misses and to other people I thought were absolute superstars throughout the 2024 season. So the 2024 All-Ireland Hurling Championship, of course, is over now for a couple of weeks. Clare are the All-Ireland Hurling Champions for 2024. Unbelievable achievement by Brian Lohan and the Banner County, especially considering where they were just after the Munster final against Limerick. They really seem to be down in terms of their morale and everything like that, but they have more than bounced back, and now they have the Liam McCarthy Cup. Absolutely unbelievable scenes. But yeah, I'm going to go through my team, explain why I picked each player in their each position, and then give the shout outs at the end. And don't hesitate, guys, to put your comments down below. Let me know your team. Let me know if you disagree, and let's dive right in. So here is the team. Without further ado, Nicky Quaid from Limerick is my goalkeeper. Full-back line is Adam Hogan from Clare, Owen Downey from Cork, and Conor Lean from Clare. David McInerney from Clare is at right half-back. Robert Downey from Cork is at centre half-back. And Kyle Hayes from Limerick is our left half-back. Midfield pairing, David Fitzgerald from Clare and Dara Fitzgibbon from Cork. Half-forward line, Tony Kelly from Clare, Shane Barrett from Cork, and Lee Chin from Wexford. And full-forward line then, Aidan McCarthy from Clare, Shane O'Donnell from Clare, and Brian Hayes from Cork. And as you'll see, I've selected Shane O'Donnell as captain. That means I have selected Shane O'Donnell as my hurler of the year for 2024. And Adam Hogan at right cornerback there for Clare is my young hurler of the year pick. So let me dive into exactly why I have chosen each player in their each position. The manager of the year as well is Brian Lohan from Clare. In my opinion, the way he has managed them, the way he has bounced them back, given where they were after the Munster final, it's been absolutely sensational. And throughout the year, the way he's managed Shane O'Donnell, the way he's managed Tony Kelly and Ryan Taylor, and the injuries that Clare have had, and the way he's got them all back into the team at the right time for the final push against Cork, Lohan has been absolutely sensational. Just shades out Pat Ryan, in my opinion, as the manager. Pat Ryan, look, if that shot by Robbie O'Flynn goes in past Quilligan, maybe we're not talking about any of this. Maybe the All-Star team looks extremely different. But let's go into it player by player. So starting off in goal with Nicky Quaid from Limerick. The big shout-outs, in my opinion, 100% are Eibhear Quilligan from Clare. 2 unbelievable saves against Kilkenny in the semi-final. And then an amazing save from Robbie O'Flynn in the All-Ireland final to keep Clare their noses ahead. And if that shot by O'Flynn had gone in, maybe Cork are the All-Ireland champions, as I said. But for me, Nicky Quaid was outstanding all throughout the year. You have to look at it this way. Quaid in previous years, we haven't actually seen him at his best because the Limerick defence has been so solid. Limerick's defence was a little bit more open this year, especially in the first half against Cork. We really saw Nicky Quaid at his best. 3 unbelievable saves, and his puckouts all throughout the year were fantastic. He made 2 amazing saves as well in the Munster final, especially the one from Aidan McCarthy. He is an unbelievable goalkeeper, and he has been critical to Limerick's 4-in-a-row success. Nicky Quaid is one of the best goalkeepers in the game of all time, in my opinion, and fully deserving of his All-Star this year, should he be lucky enough to get it. Right cornerback as well, as I said, I went with Adam Hogan, and I went for him as Young Hurler of the Year. He is just brilliant. He's so tight, tenacious. He sticks to his task, and pretty much everybody that he picked up went fairly quiet over the course of the year. And the fact that he's such a young lad, like Clare are going to be set out. And then with Conor Lean in the other corner, again, the same thing. First year in the Clare inter-county team, and he has just taken to it like a duck to water. Same thing with Owen Downey at fullback. Owen Downey has been absolutely sensational. In what has been a problem position for Cork down through the years, Downey has come in and filled the hole there in the Cork defence. And look, I personally think that Cork are going to win an All-Ireland over the next 3 years. I think it's just a matter of time. They have too much talent at their disposal. I think it's only a matter of time before they do it. And I think Owen Downey will be hugely influential in that. Rob Downey is at 6. I think Rob Downey moving to centre half back, in the pressure that he was under when he moved to centre half back, because it's easy to forget now, but when Rob Downey moved to 6, it was because Kieran Joyce was out for the Limerick game in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Rob Downey got moved to 6. A lot of people were saying he was in the 6 before the game started. He was outstanding at centre half back in that game against Limerick. Cork saved their championship from the brink, and then that goal that he scored in the All-Ireland final was just out of this world. He scored the opening point against Limerick in the semi-final for Cork. He's just a brilliant hurler, and I think he may have found his perfect position there at centre half back. At right half back then I've gone for David McInerney from Clare, an absolute soldier for the Banner County, not just this year but since their last All-Ireland win way back in 2013. He has so much experience, and everybody that he played against, he used that experience. He's not afraid to step outside the line, there's no question about it, but you need that in your team. And for me, I would love to have David McInerney in my team going into a battle, and he certainly showed it. In the semi-final against Kilkenny, he was the only one doing it for Clare in the first half, and then in the final, I thought he was outstanding. Left half back, I've gone with Kyle Hayes. Kyle Hayes on the pitch has been remarkable this season for Limerick. I think if you look at it this way, he was constantly good throughout every game that Limerick played. Even when they were stuttering through the Munster Championship, Kyle Hayes never put a foot wrong. And in pretty much every game that they played, he came up with a few crucial scores from wing back as well. He was quiet in the semi-final, but I think that's because Cork literally did not hit the ball down on top of him once. They always went to Brian Hayes on the other side. That says a lot when they were so desperate to keep the ball away from Kyle Hayes, just how good he was. My number 8, I've gone with David Fitzgerald, of course, from Clare. Now, I know he spent the entire year playing at wing forward, but he had number 8 on his back, so I'm literally making a little exception for this, but Davy Fitz has to be in. He was absolutely sensational. As Matthew the Gaelic Statsman highlighted on the GAA Hour, which if you haven't heard that episode, definitely do check it out. But David Fitzgerald's scoring rates this season have been sensational. He's a constant attacking threat for Clare, regardless of where he is. He's a powerhouse around the middle. And yeah, he has to go in for me. He's been brilliant for Clare throughout the entire season and has been ever since Lohan really started getting the best out of him 2 years ago. At number 9, then, alongside him, I've gone with Darragh Fitzgibbon from Cork. He was in potential Hurler of the Year form going into the All-Ireland final, but I do think he has lost out to Shane O'Donnell, and I think O'Donnell will claim the Hurler of the Year award. But Fitzgibbon was sensational, and he really showed leadership qualities throughout a lot of Cork's games as well. You could see how much the win against Limerick meant to him down in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, and he was brilliant. Like, the amount of scores he was racking up from midfield for Cork, absolutely superb hurler, and slots in there to complete my midfield pairing. Right half forward, I've gone with Tony Kelly from Clare, and yeah, it is just because of his sensational All-Ireland final appearance, which definitely nudges him in. Matthew said as well, top scorer from play, joint second top scorer from play, throughout the Hurling Championship of 2024. Absolutely outstanding hurler, Tony Kelly. One of the best we've ever seen. And that All-Ireland final performance is one of the best All-Ireland final performances that we have seen. I mean, his goal was just out of this world. And the 2 points as well, you know the one I'm talking about at full time there, where he's literally got his back to goal and he manages to fire it over the bar to put Clare back in front. And as Marty says, you just can't beat class. And when Tony Kelly fired that over, you were like, this guy is out of this world. Centre forward, then, of course, I went with Shane Barrett. Shane Barrett's pace has been an absolute difference maker for Cork this season, and his fulfilling of his potential is what has made their forward line so dangerous. His goal against Limerick was brilliantly taken. His point in the semi-final against Limerick was the one where he dribbled it down the line and then immediately fired it off the stick over the bar. He has been magnificent throughout the championship. He had a quiet enough final by his own standards, but he will be back, and there's no way that Shane Barrett retires without a Celtic cross. Simply just refuse to believe it. I left that forward, I've gone with Lee Chin. I don't understand what more Lee Chin could have done. I mean, this guy literally got a man of the match and scored something like 2-11 against Antrim in a game that Wexford lost. Lee Chin is an absolutely magnificent hurler. And for Wexford, he has been the one carrying the can for the last 2 years. There was signs this year that Wexford might be slightly lightening the burden on him, and they certainly need to do that if they're going to take steps forward. But Lee Chin continues to amaze with his scoring rates and his performances, and I think he has to go in there because, like, it's not his fault that the team around him didn't step up and they only got as far as the quarterfinals. Like, that's not on him. So he certainly deserves, in my opinion, to at least be considered for an All-Star, and he's in my team of the year anyway. Right corner forward, I've gone with Aaron Gillan from Limerick. Absolutely sensational year. Right corner forward, I've gone with Aidan McCarthy, as you can see from Clare there. I nearly went for Gillan. And Galan is certainly in my shout-outs. But back onto it, Aidan McCarthy, I think he was absolutely brilliant all year. And he solved a real problem area for Clare. Over the last 2 years, Clare always missed a couple of frees. And it always cost them against Limerick. It always felt like it cost them because Galan and Burns on the other side wouldn't miss. But McCarthy has been sensational on the frees. And in the final, he struck the goal in the first half, which was a crucial score for Clare. And he hit a beauty in the dying minutes of extra time as Clare started to believe that they were on their way to the All-Ireland hurling title. He goes in there for me at right corner forward. Full forward, I've gone with Clare's hurler of the year, in my opinion, Shane O'Donnell. Absolutely magnificent hurler this guy is. He's one of the toughest players I have seen to stop when he's running full pace. Like, he has this really unpredictable, weird running style where it's just so hard to stop him. It's so hard to stop him. And once he gets going, he is magnificent. And like, his performances throughout the Munster Championship have been absolutely brilliant. He set up the goal for Aidan McCarthy in the final. And he's just the type that even if he doesn't score, Shane O'Donnell makes stuff happen. No question about it. He makes stuff happen for Clare. And he deserves, in my opinion, the Hurler of the Year award. Left corner forward, then I've gone with Brian Hayes from Cork. He's announced himself as a star this season. No question about it. He's announced himself as a star. Like, his performances, especially in the semi-final against Limerick, was absolutely brilliant. He scored the goal, and he was a central point in how they looked like they could carve Limerick open at times. He was the target for most of Patrick Collins' puckouts, and that changed the game because it took the pressure away from the wing with Kyle Hayes and took Kyle Hayes' influence out of the game. Brian Hayes as well hit the insurance point against Limerick in the Munster Championship after Horgan's penalty, the one that put Cork 2 points to the good, and then there was no pulling them back. Brian Hayes has announced himself as a star this season, and in my opinion, deserves his All-Star. Which then brings me to my shout-outs. So as I said, Patrick Collins and Eibhear Quilligan would be my shout-outs for goalkeeper. My shout-outs for defenders have gone Paddy Burke from Antrim, Dan Morrissey from Limerick, Sean O'Donoghue from Cork, Diarmuid Ryan from Clare, John Conlon from Clare, and David Blanchfield from Kilkenny. My shout-outs for midfield, I've gone with Cian Kenny from Kilkenny, Conor Burke from Dublin, and Chris Crummey from Dublin. I put Chris Crummey in with the defenders, sorry. And then my shout-outs for the forwards, Gearóid Hegarty from Limerick, Séamus Harnedy from Cork, John Donnelly from Kilkenny, Aaron Gillan from Limerick, Alan Connolly from Cork, and Mark Rogers from Clare. They're the ones that I'm giving the shout-outs to. And on top of that, a big shout-out as well to Patrick Horgan and to TJ Reid, both of whom made history in 2024, both passing into 700 points scored in inter-county hurling. So to wrap up, here is the official On Cluiche All-Star Hurling team for 2024. Here it is. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Goalkeeper, I've gone Nicky Quaid from Limerick. Right cornerback, Adam Hogan from Clare. Fullback, Owen Downey from Cork. Left cornerback, Conor Lean from Clare. Right halfback, David McInerney from Clare. Centre halfback, Robert Downey from Cork. Left halfback, Kyle Hayes from Limerick. Midfield, David Fitzgerald from Clare and Darragh Fitzgibbon from Cork. Half forward line, Tony Kelly from Clare, Shane Barrett from Cork, and Lee Chin from Wexford. Full forward line then, Aidan McCarthy from Clare, Shane O'Donnell from Clare, and Brian Hayes from Cork. As you can see there, Shane O'Donnell has the captain beside him. That's because I'm making Shane O'Donnell my hurler of the year for 2024. Young hurler of the year, I've gone with Adam Hogan from Clare. And manager of the year, I've gone with Brian Lohan from Clare. Let me know what you make of the team in the comments below. Let me know your opinions. Let me know your team of the year. And until the next one, guys, on Cluiche, take care.